Being here on a Sunday morning. The main objective of IMA Academy of Medical Sciences is to acknowledge talent, expertise, and experience in all specialties, be it medical, surgical, or the basic medical sciences. It also aims to promote teaching, training, and continuing medical education of its members on an ongoing basis. And with this purpose in mind, we are all gathered today. It is only apt that we are starting today's session with a topic that should be close to our hearts. Neglecting self-care, having a compulsive need to succeed, and being unable to prioritize are common features for many of us, leading to fatigue, depression, divorce, behavioral difficulties, and mood disorders. To throw more light on the subject, we have the first topic coming up, work-life balance and wellness among doctors. Charity begins at home. With this, we start our scientific session. I request our chairperson, Dr. M.K.C. Nair, sir, Emeritus Professor in Developmental Behavioral and Adolescent Pediatrics, CDC Kerala, former Vice Chancellor, KUHS, to start the session. Welcome, sir. And to deliver the talk, we have none other than Dr. Arun Nair, Professor of Psychiatry, Medical College, Trivandrum.
Good morning. I don't think Arun Nair needs any introduction among doctors as well as public. I won't take the time. Let him start.
Thank you, sir, for those very kind introductory words. My sincere gratitude to IMA Academy of Medical Sciences for giving me this great opportunity, and I consider it as a privilege that I got this chance to open this CME with a topic which is of great relevance in modern times. So work-life balance and wellness among doctors, charity begins at home. The relevance of this topic is because some of the statistics related to Kerala society is extremely alarming. The suicide rate of Kerala is 26.9 per 1 lakh, and Kerala occupies the 5th position among the top states with highest suicide rate. The per capita alcohol consumption of general population in Kerala is around 8.5 liters per year, which is also among the top 5 among the various states of India. So what are the issues which a doctor is facing with respect to work-life balance? Of course, burnout is a very common problem. We shall come to the explanation of what is burnout, how to identify whether you have burned out. Management of time is another very important thing, because we see a lot of doctors complaining that you don't have time for anything, you don't have time to attend marriage functions of very close relatives, and in that process you isolate yourself from the society and you get ostracized from your close circle. Managing marriage, family, and parenting of kids. This is a very important thing, because we see a lot of cases where doctors' children are running into trouble because of poor parenting or lack of time to spend with kids. And when do you have to retire? That's a very important question. We always brag with great confidence that there is no retirement age for doctors. We can continue to work till the last moment of our life, but of course, graceful exit is an important skill which every doctor should understand. So what are the stages of the career of a medical professional? It starts from the entrance coaching days where you run around as a medical seat aspirant. It goes on for a couple of years during the higher secondary, and even afterwards for maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years till you get the coveted medical seat, which was your dream. Then the life as a medical student. You think that once you get into a medical college, everything is going to be extremely colorful, but of course, we know the reality. And finally, once you reach internship, You feel confident that now you are going to treat patients, you are going to get respect. Again, as it is said, extreme amount of dog work, can translate it into Malayalam, with absolutely no recognition. And residency, or the period of glorified slavery, as it is very commonly told by the postgraduate residents of the present era. Finally, after a lot of effort, lot of years of hard toil, you become a consultant in your chosen specialty. And finally, the last and most important step in the life of a medical professional, the phase of boredom, the stage in which you think that there is nothing more to contribute to the world. The life becomes extremely monotonous, and then the real problems start. So what is burnout, and how to identify whether you have developed burnout? Burnout is a stage in which you are extremely angry, depressed, and you have concentration problems. Even if you are practicing the profession of your choice, you are unable to focus on the work. You are unable to focus on what the patient is trying to tell you because your mind is wandering in different terrains and you are extremely disturbed. You tend to avoid work. When you get up in the morning, many doctors who are actively practicing the profession tell me that I feel energized to go to my workplace even if I am 75 years old. So that is probably the recognition one gets as a workaholic doctor. But when you are in a stage of burnout, you don't feel like going to your workplace. You seek reasons to avoid work. You are late at your workplace and often psychologically absent at workplace, which means you're physically present, but your mind is elsewhere, you're not concentrating. You feel extremely tired and lethargic, and you don't sleep at night. And of course, as doctors, we know the self-medication strategies to overcome that, resorting to alcohol, drugs of abuse, ranging from medically used opioids like pethidine to maybe meth and everything which is available right now. And of course, the new gen addiction of behavioral addiction, getting addicted to digital devices and unable to get out of that. So how to manage burnout? The first step in the management of burnout is to identify that you are suffering from burnout. And after that, take adequate rest. Take breaks from your hectic schedule, take rest, do regular exercise. Learn to say no. So that is a big problem with doctors, you know. When you are going out for a personal function, if a patient is coming, a doctor is expected by the society to serve that patient and then only go. But that is definitely going to take a toll, because in Esther years where doctor was revered as God, of course, the recognition from the society was big. But nowadays, even if you compromise your personal time and serve a patient, if God forbid something goes wrong with that patient, you are definitely going to be sued and badmouthed in the social media. So is it worthwhile? So you need to put a premium on your time, and you should learn the art of assertiveness to say no. If you have prioritized something else for that time, say no and exit. Refer that patient gracefully to another doctor, another consultant, or that could be a thing to do. And extra professional hobbies. There are two ways to make your life fulfilling. Number one is to find out areas of passion in your own work. Do extensive research, contribute to literature, and carve a name for yourself in your profession. At the same time, most of the doctors are creatively talented. There are great singers, writers, painters, and activists among doctors. So spending a little bit of time to fulfill your extracurricular hobbies is also good. Cut routine work with time. Maybe you start to work 12 hours a day during the initial phases of your profession to earn a name to establish yourself. But 10 years into profession, gradually cut down. And once you are past 60, cut down your hours of work to maybe 4 or 5 hours of a day and spend it for other activities. And of course, you should have a very strong support system, a strong family network, a strong network of friends, and that will also help you to come out of this burnout. As we all know, I don't need to explain this slide in front of doctors. Regular exercise, as it is mentioned by WHO, 150 minutes of moderate exercise spread over 5 days a week. It will help to improve your dopamine, thus leading to increased concentration, increased level of endorphins, giving you a sense of well-being, increased blood flow to the brain, and of course, if you expose yourself to a little bit of sunlight, enough vitamin D, which can improve your immunity to information processing. Time management is very important because time is the most precious commodity available at your disposal, which cannot be saved, which cannot be deposited. It's the most important resource, but it is not storable. Understand that. So develop an attitude where you get a sense of well-being in every moment of time you spend in your profession or outside it. So being busy, do you want to be a busy doctor or an efficient doctor? Two terminologies, effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness means the art of doing things correctly, and efficiency means doing the right things correctly. Even if you spend only very short amount of time doing the right things at the right time in the correct way, using time most appropriately can be extremely fulfilling for you. So the art of time management for a doctor, manage the important emergencies. If there is a crisis, if you are treating a patient, you are supposed to deliver emergency services once you are committed to the patient. So crisis situation management, medical emergency management, either in your workplace or at your home, exam preparations, deadline-driven projects, and other pressing matters, they should be given the most important priority. Focus on preparation, planning, preventing crisis, value clarification, relationship building, exercise and recreation. This relationship building is very important because we should have a group of friends, and that group of friends should not be restricted to your profession. Nowadays we have got social media, we can develop a group of friends who were our classmates in school or college, and a handful of selected friends can be extremely rewarding at different points of time in your life. Avoid unnecessary interruptions. A doctor cannot afford to spend large number of hours debating politics in a WhatsApp group. Of course, another person can afford to do that. So cut all those absolutely unproductive things from your life. Phone calls can be restricted or can be limited to a particular time, or you can ask the people who ask doubts to you to voice message it through WhatsApp and reply it as per your leisure time, because answering phone calls while you are in your workplace or when you are enjoying your personal space may not be a very positive thing to do. So attending too many meetings and getting involved in too many popular activities, like including too much of media exposure, playing to the galleries as a media activist, that can also be ruining in the long run. And avoid everything which wastes your time. Of course, what ruins the marriage of a doctor? Workaholism is the #1 culprit. Perfectionist, compulsive doctor who don't have any time for his spouse. It's a classical example of a marriage going to be ruined. And of course, in such situations, infidelity can happen. Infidelity from the part of the doctor or even from the part of the spouse. And boredom in marriage can lead to exploration of other areas of interest in your life, which can be a crisis again, because a doctor is the center of attention of the public. Anything done by a doctor is going to be meticulously monitored and badmouthed. Management of finances. Many doctors are extremely bad. They earn a lot of money, but they don't know how to invest money. That is very important. And career crisis. Of course, we go through Perindachan syndrome in life, and sometimes even Bhasmasuran syndrome. Perindachan syndrome is the phenomenon in which, after you have reached a certain pedestal in life, if some youngster is performing better than you or gaining more popularity than you, you feel like dropping an uli on his head and killing him. And of course, Bhasmasuran syndrome also. You might have got opportunities in life thanks to the services and mentoring of a person. But once you make it big, you may badmouth your mentor and tell others that, no, your mentor knew nothing. I was the person who taught basic medicine to the mentor. Both are extremely unacceptable things. So to make a marriage work, spend time with your spouse, respect each other, have fun together, go out and enjoy vacations once in a while. Treat your spouse as the VIP of your life. Most important statement from this talk. And a loved spouse is usually a loving spouse. Parenting. Children are very important. Spend at least a meal together every day, half an hour of quality time with your kids every day, outing at least once in a week, holiday extending for a few days once in a year, and children should get a chance to meet their grandparents and relatives, and kids should develop the art of honoring family traditions. So retirement is a big question in the life of most doctors. What would you do after that? Because the only art you know is practice of medicine. You don't even know how to fix a tube light in your home. So what are you going to do? It's a big crisis. So should you stay with children? Big problem. It is, of course, advisable to stay away from children as long as your health permits you, because otherwise you will start mentoring your children and your daughters-in-law and son-in-laws. That can lead to major problems because they may not appreciate your very classical kind of mentoring. So how to be productive and inspired even after retirement from a profession. And you should plan to manage health problems. I should not tell doctors that you should take a health insurance, but of course it's mandatory for doctors. And you should develop a support system where somebody, if your children are not available when you're old, you should develop a support system where somebody would be available. And I would finish my talk with 10 commandments for work-life balance for a doctor. You should not expect someone else to reduce your stress. You are responsible for reducing it. You should not resist change. Change is part of a profession. Or if somebody young comes up and he is performing better due to a new technology, accept him, appreciate him, reward him, and they will respect you back. You should not take yourself in vain, should not overwork and burn out. Remember what is holy to you, your family, your most important people in life. Understand your limitations. You are not a superpower. You need to work as part of a team. You should not work alone. Recognize and appreciate the contribution of each and every member in your team. You should not kill, and you should not take it on to others. Should not express your anger onto others, even if your patient is an extremely irritating person. You should not work harder, but you should learn the art of working smarter. Find joy and mastery in work. If you contribute more to your work and you get a recognition which can earn you posterity, that is great. And you should continue to be a lifelong learner. And with this, I'm stopping my talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arun. I agree with every word he said, so I'm not expanding, except one. You said about retirement. No, actually he never retired. And KVK is the best example. Recently I gave a book to a professor to edit, medical part. It's not mine, medicine part. But I know he didn't do a good job. I went to sir. Within 48 hours, he gave 3-4 pages written, everything that should be done, mistake in detail. And now my physio tell me, after COVID, I have some physio joint problem. So he tell me, whenever he goes to see him, for he also has some spine problem, he is reading 3 or 4 books. And one of them is my book. Remember, we don't become MD teacher or DM teacher, then you reduce to MD teacher, then you reduce MBBS, BSc nursing, general nursing, health workers, Anganwadi workers, and then parents. Never, even at 90, you can. Only thing to watch out is, don't lose the professional meaning and then dilute everything into whatever mixopathy and whole lot of things. Don't do that. That's the first point. Second one is learn to forget and forgive. If you can do that, I think 90% of, I don't have a single enemy right now in my life. I had maybe 10 years ago. Not a single enemy. Even the last person is compromise and very this thing of me. Then also, one philosophy we need to understand, if I fight with Arun, it's because I think I'm right and he is wrong. If he fight with me, it's because he thinks he is right and I am wrong. Actually, both of us are right some way, both of us are wrong. The real truth is something else. That is basic philosophy. And the last point I will say, ഇതെല്ലാം കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഈ ആർഭാടം എല്ലാം കഴിഞ്ഞ് വടിയായിട്ട് തെക്ക് വടക്ക് കിടക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒരു തുള്ളി കണ്ണീര് വരുന്നത് നിൻ്റെ ഭാര്യയുടെയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മക്കളുടെയോ ഉള്ളൂ. എന്തൊക്കെ ചീത്ത അതുവരെ അച്ഛനെ വിളിച്ചാലും അവളെ ഉള്ളൂ. പക്ഷേ വി സ്പെൻഡ് ഹോൾ ലൈഫ് ട്രൈങ് ടു ബിലിറ്റിൽ ഹർ. ഓർത്തോണോ അതൊരിക്കലും ചെയ്യരുത്. വി ഓൾ ഹാവ് വെരി എക്സ്പേർട്ട് ഇൻ ബിലിറ്റിലിങ്. ഏത് ചാൻസ് കിട്ടിയാലും അവളെ ബിലിറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. പക്ഷേ ബാക്കി സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് വരും, പേഷ്യൻസ് നെവർ വിൽ കം. സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് വരും, പക്ഷേ അവർ വന്നാലും എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ വാച്ച് നോക്കും, എന്തോ എപ്പോഴാണ് എടുക്കുന്നതെന്ന് അറിയാൻ. പക്ഷെ അത് നോക്കാത്ത ഒരാളേ ഉള്ളൂ, സ്വന്തം വൈഫ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് അത് ഓർത്താൽ മതി. ദെൻ യു ഹാവ് എ ഹാപ്പി ഫാമിലി. താങ്ക് യു. Any questions? Any comment? I don't know time thing. Any comments? If time permits, I don't know.
That is a very important thing, I think.
Any quick comments? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Excellent talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
As usual.
Thank you. I request Roy sir to present a memento on our behalf to Dr. M.K.C. sir and Dr. Arun.